Hey y'all, it's Anime Man. Today I'm going to be reviewing episode 62 of Gegege no Kitarou. And I gotta say, this was prime Gegege no Kitarou. And while it wasn't the most grandest episode of the series, I would say this episode is in my top 10 Gegege no Kitarou episodes. By far. Actually no, I'd say this is in my top 5. And let me explain why. This episode finally did a great job of making Ratman likable. Because, while yes, in this episode you do have Ratman somewhat help the yokai causing trouble in this week's episode, which is Korobuzo in this episode specifically. That may occur, but it isn't anything that's devious per se, because he's only really the only thing this does is yokai pretty much gives Ratman the ability to purify water, because Korobuzo, he dirties the water supply, and then eventually he gets Ratman to sell these filters, and Ratman makes his money. And you know what, I kind of like that, because for one, when Ratman does help out Kitarou in this episode this time, it doesn't feel like, oh man, this guy did something despicable that as an audience viewer, I think this guy should be fucking punished. Or anything of that nature. No. Because in this instance, for one, it doesn't really directly harm people or individuals. And two, it only makes the moment where Kitarou gets helped by Ratman feel much like it has much more weight and much more impact. So good job for the Toei writing staff. They are progressively getting better. Now, aside from that, I also like how this episode did a few other things too, because aside from having Korobuzo, and he really felt like a legitimate threat, because he had Kitarou and Ray on the ropes. Aside from that, I also liked how, from a story perspective, they didn't make him into a dumb yokai, because he actually took advantage of a situation where Ray pretty much captured Ratman because he suspected him of working with Korobuzo, almost killed him or sealed him. I mean, the episode was kind of vague until Kitarou saved Ratman. And then what I like about this specific sequence, it actually naturally has Kitarou conflict with Ray. Because for one, not only did we get to see power scaling of Ray, because at this point we see that, yeah, he's actually on the league of Kitarou and is way stronger than Catcher, because he only fucking defeats her in one hit. I like how during this sequence you see him actually match Kitarou punch by punch, because Kitarou has to actually put the Chinchanko vest on his arm and all that kind of jazz. So not only does that give us a sense of Ray's strength, which this episode implies that they're on equal footing with each other, it also gives them a narrative reason to want to face each other in the future. Because like after all this, Ray hates Kitarou more and Kitarou hates Ray too. Despite this situation with the yokai, which is Korobuzo being taken care of. So I do like that, because it's going to give more gravitas towards when they meet each other. And in addition to that, during this fight, Kitarou actually justifies why he helps out Ratman, because Kitarou would hate the world to be a place where people like Ratman wouldn't be allowed to survive. And I like the sequence where he mentions that if Ratman does something bad, he'll get angry at him and punish him. But if he's remorseful, then Kitarou will try to help him out. And I found that sequence to be really beautiful in its own way. Because for one, I like how Ray even calls Kitarou out on that and calls him a hypocrite, because Kitarou does take down multiple evil yokai, but not Ratman. But then at the same time, you look at it from Kitarou's perspective, and well, Ratman hasn't really done as vicious. He hasn't done vicious things like some of the evil yokai have in comparison. So I do like that standpoint, and Ray and Kitarou are right. And it brings a moral gray area into the Gegege no Kitarou series that I really enjoy seeing. And I like how it ends on a stalemate, symbolic with Kurobusa interrupting, because, for one, there really is no right answer in this scenario. For all we know, Ray could be right. Let's say if people like Ratman that are half human yokai were punished much more severely, or they were killed. For all we know, maybe the world could become a better place. Or maybe if people like Ratman didn't exist, then the world might be a worse place. Because it kind of puts things into perspective. Because if we look at it in real life, let's say at criminals that do minor crimes, they pay their time. I think in this case, Kitarou kind of symbolizes the individuals that agree with the whole standpoint of people that do petty crimes. They should be allowed to. There should be at least mercy towards them, and they should be allowed to repent for their sins after they feel remorseful and after they have their due time. While with Ray, he's probably got the standpoint of anyone that has even a little bit of viciousness should be executed. And I like, at least that's what I think they symbolically represented in this episode. And now both of their sides have ups and downs. So that was also another interesting element about this episode. Now, naturally, I take more of Kitarou's side, where if someone does do small bad things in comparison, they should at least be allowed a second chance. So that was pretty nice. At the very least, now we get more of the insights of Kitarou. And in addition to that, I also like that this episode had Ratman go to a character development moment, because you actually see Ratman hear all this shit. You actually see him tear up, and then at the end, he decides to actually help Kurobusa get taken down by actually taking a piss on his painting, which pretty much nullifies his powers, giving Kitarou enough time to finger gun Kurobusa and defeat him. And what I really like about this sequence was Kitarou and Ray, they were completely outmatched, and they really needed the help of a half human, half yokai like Ratman to be at the right place, right time to actually get the win. That was also another beautiful thing about this episode, because the victory felt earned. And this was actually one of the first time where a treasonous general actually felt like a threat, because he had Kitarou and Ray pinned in this situation scenario. And since he was actually using lightning attacks, this time it was actually understandable that Kitarou wouldn't be using his internal electricity, because, well, naturally, for all a guy that can use lightning abilities, electric-based attacks probably wouldn't work too well. So that was also another nice thing about this episode too, additionally. And to get to see Ratman actually help out in a win was also another beautiful scenario. And I like how it even goes back towards the end of the Nanashi arc, where even Kitarou tells Kachik that really appreciates Ratman, not only because of the past, but because of that Ratman, because Ratman was the one that helped him out when he was really down and all that in that situation. So that was also nice. And that's why I felt from a story and character standpoint, this episode was perfection, I gotta say. Because every single story bit in this episode was interesting. Ratman got his character development. And Kitarou and Ray hate each other even more, so it ups the stakes even more for a future encounter. So that's why I also felt it did great from a character standpoint, aside from a story standpoint. Our animation were marvelous. Soundtrack is beautiful. And that's why I'm going to rate this episode an 11 out of 10. Because I think it hit all the right notes. And additionally, Ratman moments like this really do make the show much, much more grander. And that's why I thought this episode was worthy of that score. And it's definitely in my top 5 or top 10 Gegege no Guitar episodes by far. So anyways, guys and gals, these are my thoughts on Gegege no Guitar episode 62. Be sure to comment on your thoughts on those in the comment section below. Be sure to rate the video, subscribe, share it if y'all want to, and I'll see you guys later if you subscribe for more, because I'm definitely pumped up for next week's episode. Alright, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.